Well, what are we fixing today? Well, today is the first Home Assistant video I've had in a while because my office has been in disarray. We had to move some stuff around in here. We had to reset up the green screen, as you can tell. It doesn't look much better than it did before. I'm sure you can, see right through all the problems. But we're going to talk about backups today. Now, I had a video somewhat recent. It was this year, and we're going to put it up here somewhere. See it if you want. I suggest you also look at that one. This video and that video are how I do my 3-2-1 backup strategy. You can look on whatever it is. You can look online. This is a sample from a company that's selling backup space online. My online space is free. It's the Google Drive. So, like I said, the other video will tell you about that. But basically, the 3-2-1 backup strategy is a very common thing. And for important stuff like my Home Assistant configuration, I like to try to use it. So what we're going to go over today is my second method of backing up. And it puts my stuff into a third location. It puts it into another local hard drive, another Unix system I have running somewhere else. And so in order for me to have lost my backup, I would have to lose the original. I would have to lose the Google Drive. I would have to lose this other hard drive. So like an EMP, I might be in trouble. Probably in trouble anyway, don't you think? Otherwise, I think I got it. I don't think I'm going to lose this stuff. So let's get on with the video. This is the process we're going to try to work through. There's a bunch of steps, and it may be a little different on yours. Trust me, if you know Linux, Ubuntu, Debian, you're gonna understand this. If you're completely green at it, you're gonna struggle a bit. There's some Unix commands in here that are doing things. You have to create a key and you have to do some stuff. So I'm gonna step through it the way I did it, and you will have these directions in your information with the video. So let's look at this. So the first parts of it we're going to do within Home Assistant. We're going to load the repository, load the add-on, and then we're going to jump out and generate the key. So let's pop over there. This is the Home Assistant instance I'm using. Well, a machine with the Home Assistants on it. You can see it's fairly generic. Doesn't have a whole lot going on. I have the automatic stuff loaded, and if we look down in Supervisor, I also have SSH Terminal and Samba Share loaded. These are things you should always load every time you do an HA install. You need to be able to get at the back end in order to do things here and there. This gets you at the back end, and this allows you to share files. You need those things. You need one of these two installed because you're going to have to put a file into the SSL directory. If you want help, come to Discord. We'll give you some help. But the best help is look at the HA docs. All right. So we're going to go to the add-on store. But the process for adding an add-on is you come up here and hit the hamburger menu over here, and then you hit repositories, and then I'll give you the string and the stuff and the information, but you type in the repository or paste in the repository name here, and you say add. And I've already done that for Matheson's, so close this off. We are going to add this remote backup. So we come over here, do an install, and we let it roll. So there it is. We do not want this to start on boot, and auto update is up to you. This is the info screen, so if you want to look at documentation, you can see a default sample configuration here. You will have to change the config. I'm going to change the config as well. Here's my config that I'm using for this test. This is not right. It's always a good idea to change the port. I'm not changing it in this default config. You need a username that's on that machine. This is a name of a file, which you will need later, so we'll put it in. You can change this file name to whatever you want. This is what I picked, but it has to match between here and when we generate the key. That's my path. This is my password. It is bad password number 98. Seems like bad password number 98 would be a good password. I'm going to choose to keep 14 snapshots. I have a fair amount of space on the drive, so I'm good with that. You may want to keep less, you may want to keep more, whatever. This is the number of snapshots that will stay in Home Assistant. So basically, I run this every day, so I have 2 weeks worth of every day sitting there from this program. So once we put all your stuff in there, you hit save. Don't forget to hit save. It should say it's okay, or it should not error, basically, right? So once you have the configuration all loaded in here, we're going to come over here, and we're not going to start it yet because we don't have the keys and the other things there. We have loaded the repository and we loaded the add-on, and we didn't start it yet. So now we're going to generate the Keypair. Okay, so the first thing you do to generate the key is go to a terminal window on your machine. I'm using my Home Assistant machine, so CD tilde, that'll get you to your home folder, and do an ls. Well, and SLA. You need to see if you have a file folder called .ssh. Here we do. I'm going to go to the folder, do a list. I have some other keys in here already, so we're going to make a new key in here. SSH Keygen is a program, a Unix program that generates the key. We're going to use the ECDSA type key because it's shorter and it's more secure than the default one. This 521 is a parameter for that. So let's see if this will run, otherwise I'll have to sudo it. And here, remember I told you we needed the file name? We're going to go to Home Assistant, copy the file name that we put here. Like I said, this file name does not have to be this. You can call it chicken livers if you want, but this is what I called mine, and it has to match between here and here. And passphrase, I'm going to choose to leave mine empty because that's secure enough for what I'm doing. If you're moving across the internet, you may need bigger passphrase. So let me just hit enter and then enter again, and the key is generated. So let's take a look, and HADSA is a key that has been generated. So let's copy it out to the other server. 33, yeah. So then the file names in here, we're using the public file to put out on the server. We're copying the ID into the list. So what this is going to end up doing is we'll be able to log into this system without a password. This will be our password system, our prove who you are system. Look up SSH if you want to know more about that on the net. So it wants the password this time because it doesn't know who I am now. You type it in, it will not respond. Now I typed it in, you didn't see anything, that's normal. added the key. I'm going to try to log in though. I'm going to do a test login. SSH username at IP address. And I'm logged in with no password. So that functioned correctly. Yay! Make sure you do that in your home directory, not in the root directory, because I've done it there before and it did the console. Alright. Once we did that test, we can get out, exit, EXIT. So now we know that we could log in using this key to get a place. Alright. Next step. Yeah, so now we have to copy, I'll scroll up at the list. Now we have to copy this file here, HAECDSA, has to be copied onto Home Assistant so that it can find it. So there's a number of ways to do that. You can use Samba. I'm going to use, I have that drive mounted as Samba, and I'm going to use that to push it in. You can also use SSH. But it's basically, you can see a little bit of it. It's copy, and then the file name, and then the whole to string is going to be different for you. And looks like it's done. Now if we want to see if it's there, we can go into Home Assistant. If I go into Samba Share, so we got config, add-ons, SSL, share, backup, and media. So the SSL one is the one that you have to copy this file into. It needs to exist in there. Okay? Let's go back here to our configuration. Now, this file is now where it belongs in the SSL folder. This is my correct path. That's my correct password that I'm going to use for zip config. As this is working, I can explain to you what it does. Now, the rsync stuff, I don't use rsync. It's, I think, for copying into a local different kind of share drive. I don't use it. I use the Unix stuff. So you can also use rsync instead of SSH for this add-on. So, you know, to each his own. Back to info. So now we're in the remote backup, and we're going to do a start. I think it'll run. Start. Pop over into log. Refresh. This parse error is normal. This is a bug that Ikifar is working on. Come down here. Refresh. See. And now this one quick because I don't have a whole lot in this. Yours is going to take longer. Creating a snapshot takes a while if you have an older established configuration. This is a dev with nothing in it. It went very quick. So let's take a look. It added the key to where it needed to. It created a snapshot, called it this F9E0 thing. It then zipped that snapshot. And it doesn't really make the snapshot any smaller, but what it does do is give that snapshot a password using zip. So you zip compress it, which makes it a little bit smaller, not much, but you encode it with this password. So if somebody else picks that file up from Google or from wherever and looks at it, they don't know what to do with it unless they have this password. So keep this safe. In my production configuration, this is in a secrets. This is in a secrets. I don't think this is. This is probably in a secret. So I secret this stuff out so that you have to get into secrets to find it. But, you know, go back into log. So it created and it zipped the file so that it encrypted it basically. Then it copied the file over to the place I wanted it to be. Here's the encryption. Here it's telling you that the security thing was done and it was successful. Backup process done. Done. Okay, so I had to do some moving around, but here is the system where the file went to. I'll move it around, meaning I had to clear some screens that I didn't want to show. But flashing the router 1, backup, HA Snapshots, that's the folder path, and here's the file, and it was just loaded. So we can see that we verified now that the file got to where it wanted to, it did it without a password, and it's all fine and happy-dappy, right? Alright, so it worked. Now we have to make this happen every day. There it is. We'll see if it behaves. I don't have anything else on automations yet. We're going to add a new automation. Paste. So here's the automation we're going to add. And please, this ID is a random number. I use RSA generator and I'll put it in the links. It can be anything. You can, as long as it's unique, it doesn't matter what it is. And since I'm putting it in the regular automation file, if you go and use the GUI for automations, this will reformat and the pretty stuff will go away. But this is mine. I have a split between two files. So anyway, on my system my system is a different time, but the way this one's set up now, right now, you change this time for whatever time of day you want the backup to happen. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. These are the days. You can pick any day. You can pick one day. You can say, you can change this here for once a month, once a week. You can do all kinds of fancy stuff in here. Basically, you can, if you wanted to do every day, you can just take this. And comment it out. That will now perform at every 3:27, and it is 24-hour military time. So at 3:27 in the morning, it will run this backup as it is every day. That's probably what we want. HA Add-on Start is a service, and in order to know what service you want to start, you take a look at. Let's go over here to supervisor. Let's open up the remote backup, and you can see right here 3490758 or B, whatever this is. This is a unique number that belongs to that add-on. All right. Now if I come back over here, 03, so this is the same file name right here as you see when you open up the thing. Right here. So you grab this as this is your file name, copy it, bring it over here, and you put in here as the identifier for the add-on. Now with this in your configuration, like I said, it'll back up once a day. I might as well save this. Go into server controls, check and make sure it's okay, it's valid since it's the only thing in there. And I don't need to restart, it's an automation. I could just reload automations. Now it's enabled. So every day at 3:27 a.m., this backup is going to run. Well, that's what we fixed today. Boy, I sure look weird. I have not turned into a ghost since the start of the video. It's just, I don't know why it looks like that. Anyway, I want to thank Ikifar Matheson for creating this add-on, or actually for recreating it, because it was in a broken state and he made it awesome again. There's go to his GitHub, click the buy me a coffee, give the guy some kudos for coming up with this. This is an awesome thing. I use it every day. If you want to help me out, you can take a look at some of the other links in the bottom of my look at that. I'm clear. Am I clear back here? No, I'm less clear back here. I should go back here. Yeah, I still look like an idiot. So if you're interested in helping me out, give me a like, give me a subscribe. Those are awesome. If you there's also some other ways to help me out. You want to be a Patreon, we got all that stuff going on. So take a look at that, check that out. Take a look at my other videos. For now, that's all. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Bye.